Picture this, it's always the same leg. The same calf that clenches like a fist at 2 a.m. The same foot that seizes when you push the grocery cart. The same hamstring that grabs the moment you step off the curb. When cramps always choose one side, your body is sending you a message. Sometimes harmless, sometimes serious, and the trick is learning to read it. Tonight, I'm going to hand you a simple map that decodes one-sided leg cramps the way a good mechanic listens to an engine. We'll separate the causes into 3 paths: nerves, circulation, and mechanics, so you can test your own body at home in just a few minutes, make targeted fixes that actually match the problem, and know exactly when a cramp is a red flag, not just an annoyance. Same leg, same message, new plan. Stay with me because by the end of this, you'll know what to try tonight, what to track this week, and when to pick up the phone and get help. Cramps that strike both legs at once are usually the classic story. You were dehydrated, you walked farther than usual, you sat too long and then stood up too fast, your electrolytes were off, or your calves are tight from a new routine. Annoying, yes, but non-specific. A cramp that keeps picking the same side is different. It means that something about blood flow on that side, or the nerves feeding that leg, or the way your joints and muscles are loading, is setting that one limb up to misbehave. That is actually good news because once you match the pattern to the right path, you can stop throwing random tricks at it and start solving the right problem. Here's the simple, doctor-approved idea we'll use all night. If you think nerve versus circulation versus mechanics, first, you'll choose better stretches, smarter walking, and the right daily tweaks, and you'll know when to stop self-treating and see a clinician. Think of this as your 3-lane decision map. In the nerve lane sit issues like a pinched nerve in the lower back, irritation of the sciatic nerve, or a kink in a peripheral nerve as it travels through tight tissue. In the circulation lane are 2 very different roads: arterial flow, the pipes bringing blood to the muscles, and venous return, the pipes carrying blood back home. In the mechanics lane live all the patterns of overload that put one limb under extra stress: a slightly longer leg on one side, a dropped arch, a stiff ankle, a hip or knee that's changed the way you walk, a scar that tethers tissue, or simply years of favoring one leg on stairs. Once you have these lanes in your head, you can listen to your body's clues and place your cramp in the right lane most of the time. Your body gives away its secrets if you know what to notice. When a nerve is involved, the leg often talks in electricity, tingling, zaps, pins and needles, a feeling of ants, numb patches, or a hot wire pain that may start in the back or buttock and travel down. Sitting can make it worse, especially long drives, and leaning forward, like when you rest your forearms on a shopping cart, can paradoxically make walking easier if the problem is lumbar stenosis narrowing the canal around the nerves. Many people with nerve-driven cramps sleep better with their knees a little bent and a pillow between the legs because that opens the back and calms the nerve roots. If your cramp lives in this world, it often comes with a pattern of positions that provoke and positions that soothe. Arterial flow problems, by contrast, have a stopwatch personality. You walk a certain distance, a predictable tightness or cramp shows up in the calf or thigh on that same side, and when you stop and rest, it melts away until you walk that same distance again. The skin on that side might feel cooler, paler, or more fragile, toenails can grow slowly, and small sores, especially on the foot, can take forever to heal. This is the supply-line problem. The muscle can't get enough oxygen for the workload and complains on schedule. Venous problems feel different. A heavy, dragging ache that's worse at day's end, better with your legs up, and often paired with swelling, visible veins, or a sense that standing still is torture but walking gently helps. That's the drainage side. Blood pooling in the lower leg stresses the tissues and irritates the muscle. Mechanical overload speaks in asymmetries and habits. The shoe sole on the cramping side wears out faster. Stairs are always led with the same dominant leg. After you organize the closet or work in the garden, it's always the right calf that seizes, never the left. You notice your ankle on that side can't get the knee to the wall as easily as the other side. You can do 20 calf raises on the quiet leg and only 12 on the noisy one. Your hamstrings on that side feel like short cables. Maybe you've had a knee replacement or a vein procedure, and the scars on one side made the tissue less supple. Now that side takes the brunt of your day. In this lane, The cramp is a messenger for something you can often fix with smarter shoes, better mobility, and targeted strength. Medications and minerals can tilt any of these lanes toward cramping. Diuretics can shift sodium and potassium. Some statins can make muscles more temperamental. Beta-agonist inhalers, thyroid shifts, and even dehydration from a new supplement can set the stage. Those influences are more likely to produce bilateral cramps, but they can land on your weak link side and make it the squeaky wheel. That's why we correct basics like hydration and routine even while we chase the one-sided pattern. Let's do a handful of safe, quick at-home tests you can perform in 2 to 3 minutes each to steer you down the right lane. First, the walking test. Find a flat hallway or sidewalk and walk at your normal pace. Note the exact moment, distance, number of mailboxes, minutes on a timer, when your familiar unilateral tightness or cramp appears. So, if it melts within a minute or two and shows up again at roughly the same distance when you restart, that's a classic arterial pattern. If instead, standing still makes it worse and walking actually eases it, that leans venous. Next, the end-of-day test. Late afternoon or early evening, when your legs feel most tired, lie down and elevate both legs on pillows so the calves are above the heart for 10 to 15 minutes. If the heavy, one-sided ache and crampy feeling fade with elevation and return when you stand, that points toward venous return being your lane. Now, the lumbar comfort test. Sit, then lean forward gently, or place your hands on a countertop and round your back a touch, as if you're draping yourself over a shopping cart. If that position reliably eases the one-sided leg symptoms, it suggests lumbar stenosis or a nerve root that likes a little extra space when you flex. Test your ankle mobility against a wall. Stand facing the wall, place your big toe 2 to 3 inches away, and try to bend the knee forward to touch the wall without the heel lifting. Compare sides. If the crampy side is stiffer, your calf is short or your ankle is restricted, and mechanics may be fueling the problem. Finally, do the single leg calf raise test holding a counter for balance. Rise onto the ball of one foot, lower slowly, and count how many you can do with good form before the muscle trembles and refuses. A fair stopping point is when your heel no longer clears the same height. Compare sides. A big difference is a mechanical asymmetry begging for attention. Once you've run those little experiments, the most common hidden causes after 50 map themselves. Nerve-driven cramps often trace back to lumbar stenosis, the crowded hallway in the lower spine that pinches nerves when you stand tall, or a cranky sciatic nerve irritated by tightness in the deep hip rotators. Arterial claudication from peripheral artery disease shows up as that same distance every time calf pain or cramp with cool skin and slow healing cuts. Venous insufficiency stacks your blood downstairs and leaves your leg heavy, swollen, and cramp-prone by evening. Mechanics bring a cast of characters. A small leg length difference that tips your pelvis, osteoarthritis in the hip or knee that disrupts gait, a fallen arch on one side, a stiff big toe that forces your calf to overwork, surgical scars that tether the slide of tissue, or simply an old shoe that's aged into a trap. None of these are destiny. They are invitations to targeted fixes that respect the cause instead of fighting the symptom. If your tests and your story point to a nerve path, your goal is to make space and reduce irritation while you rebuild support. Through the day, give your spine micro breaks of decompression. Every 45 to 60 minutes, stand, place your hands on a countertop, soften your knees, gently hinge at the hips, and let your lower back open for 20 to 30 seconds while you breathe. If sitting is your trigger, adjust your chair so your knees are slightly below your hips, and place a small cushion at your low back to keep the natural curve. Put your wallet in your front pocket. Sitting on it can irritate the deep rotators and anger the sciatic nerve. At night, if side sleeping helps, place a pillow between your knees to keep the top leg from dragging your spine into rotation. Keep stretches gentle and non-threatening. A hamstring stretch should be felt in the back of the thigh, not as a tugging wire in the calf and foot. Bend the knee slightly, keep your back long, and picture lengthening into comfort, not pushing into pain. For the deep hip rotators, lie on your back, cross the ankle of the crampy side over the opposite knee in a figure 4, and gently draw the uncrossed leg toward you until you feel a soft stretch in your buttock without any pins and needles down the leg. Hold 20 to 30 seconds, breathe, repeat twice, and stop if the leg symptoms worsen. Nerve glides for the sciatic nerve are slow, hello, goodbye motions, not stretches. Sit tall at the edge of a chair. Slowly straighten the knee of the crampy leg only as far as comfortable while you pull your toes toward you. Lift your chest gently, then release. Foot points down, knee bends, chin nods slightly. That's 1. Move with the breath. 10 gentle reps. You are sliding the nerve through its tunnel, not tugging it like a rope. Pair mobility with support work. The gluteus medius, the side hip muscle that keeps your pelvis level, loves to go on vacation after 50, and when it does, the lower back and calf pick up the slack. Start with pain-free clam motions. Lie on your side with knees bent, keep your feet together, and gently open the top knee like a book without rolling backward. Hold 2 seconds slower. 10 to 15 reps, 2 sets. Then stand with a hand on a counter and step sideways in a slow, controlled way with a small resistance band around your ankles if you have one. Keep toes pointing forward and hips level. 10 slow steps each way. Finish with a bridge on your back. Knees bent, feet hip width, exhale and lift your hips. Feel your buttocks engage more than your back. Hold for 2 counts, lower with control. 8 to 12 reps. This trio steadies the base so your nerves glide in peace. If the arterial lane matches your body, predictable cramp with walking that melts with rest. Your home base is supervised interval walking and a full-body risk check with your clinician. The walking recipe is simple and potent. Walk until your calf or thigh is almost but not quite at your stop signal. Rest until it eases, then walk again. Repeat for 20 to 30 minutes, 3 to 5 days a week. Over weeks, the almost arrives later. Your muscles and their microvessels adapt and distance grows. Choose shoes that don't pinch, check your feet daily for new blisters or sores, and keep toenails trimmed. Partner this with the big vascular levers. If you smoke, make today the day you ask for help to stop. Align your blood pressure, cholesterol, and glucose medications with your doctor, and schedule a vascular evaluation if your test felt like a metronome. Same distance, same pain, same relief, especially if the skin is cool and wounds are stubborn. This is not a place to guess. It is, however, a place where the right kind of walking is medicine, not a risk. If the Venous lane describes your evenings, one heavy leg, worse with standing, happier with elevation, your tools are gravity, rhythm, and compression chosen with advice. Put your legs up so the calves are above your heart for 10 to 15 minutes once or twice a day. Set a kitchen timer, breathe, and let the heaviness drain. Make movement the rule and parking the exception. Every hour, stand, roll through your feet from heel to toe 10 times, or take a minute to walk the hallway. If you have no arterial disease and your clinician agrees, light compression socks can be a game changer. For many, a gentle 15 to 20 millimeters of mercury sock fitted properly is enough. Put them on in the morning before swelling starts and take them off at night. If you have varicose veins, ask whether a consult makes sense. There are modern options that can relieve pooling and protect your tissues. At night, a few minutes of calf massage toward the knee with a soft hand, never deep digging, can help fluids find their way home. If mechanics are your lane, you'll combine length where you're short, strength where you're weak, and equipment that doesn't sabotage you. Start with the calf 2 ways because the calf is 2 animals. Stand facing a wall, hands on the wall, 1 foot back with the knee straight and the heel flat. Lean until you feel a stretch in the back of the lower leg. Hold 30 seconds, breathe. Then bring that same foot a step forward and bend the back knee while keeping the heel down. The stretch slides lower into the soleus. Hold 30. Repeat both sides. Do this daily, and do it again before bed if night cramps are your story. Strengthen what holds your arch. Sit tall and slowly raise your heels and lower them, then try to shorten the foot by sliding the ball of the foot toward the heel without curling the toes. Think of lifting the arch rather than clawing the floor. If you tolerate it, gather a towel with your toes and then press the towel away with the ball of the foot. For the tibialis posterior, a key arch supporter, loop a band around the ball of your foot and resist as you turn the sole slightly inward and point gently, then return. Go slowly, 10 to 15 reps, 2 sets. Teach your balance systems safely. Stand on the crampy leg near a counter, fingertips resting lightly, and hold for 20 to 30 seconds. When that feels easy, turn your head slowly left and right while you keep the knee soft and the arch lifted. Your brain learns quickly when you feed it small, repeatable challenges. Every other day, do single-leg calf raises with support, up 2 counts, down 3, 8 to 12 reps, 2 sets, stop shy of pain. Scan your shoes. If the outer heel on the crampy side is worn down, it's whispering that your mechanics pull you into a twist with every step. Replace tired shoes. Consider a real arch support insole if your foot has collapsed, and ask a clinician whether a small heel lift on one side is appropriate if a measurable leg length difference exists. Tiny millimeters can free a stubborn calf. Night is where cramps love to strike, so let's build a gentle anti-cramp routine you can do in 5 quiet minutes. Finish most of your fluids earlier in the evening so you're not up all night, and add a small, protein plus fiber snack 60 to 90 minutes before bed. If nighttime dips or dawn spikes are part of your glucose story, a little plain Greek yogurt with a spoon of chia is the classic. Take a warm shower or soak your feet in warm water for 5 to 10 minutes. Warmth asks muscles to let go. Do your two-way calf stretch and a soft hamstring stretch with the knee slightly bent. Sit on the edge of the bed, loop a towel around the ball of your foot, and gently pull the toes toward your shin for 20 to 30 seconds. Do not yank. Then, with your heels on the floor, do 10 slow ankle pumps, point and flex, so the calf remembers smooth, coordinated motion. When you tuck in, keep the blankets off your toes with a lightweight tent if heavy covers pull your feet into pointed positions that trigger cramps. If you cramp mid-sleep, sit up, pull your toes toward your shin and hold, then stand with the heel down and the knee straight near a wall until the spasm unwinds. Breathe low into your belly. Your nervous system follows your breath. Supplements and medications deserve a thoughtful, cautious approach. Magnesium helps some people whose intake is low, but it is not a universal fix, and it can interact with medications or be unsafe in kidney disease. If your clinician agrees, many adults tolerate a modest evening dose of a gentle form like magnesium glycinate. Others prefer to focus on food sources, pumpkin seeds, leafy greens, legumes, and steady hydration rather than pills. Review your medication list with your doctor if cramps began after a change. Diuretics shift minerals. Some statins and beta agonists can irritate muscles. Antidepressants and thyroid adjustments can change your baseline. Never start quinine on your own for cramps. The risks, heart rhythm problems, blood disorders, interactions, far outweigh the benefit for routine night cramps. Let's turn this into a 7-day plan you can put in place without overthinking it. On days 1 and 2, run the quick tests. Write down which lane your body seems to be driving in and fix easy environment traps. Replace shoes that are visibly worn on the crampy side, move the wallet from the back pocket, place a small footstool under your desk so you can change hip angles through the day, and do your gentle night routine. On days 3 and 4, start the starter protocol for your lane with 0 pain and short duration. If it's nerves, practice the decompression hinges and the gentle sciatic sliders and add the gluteal support work. If it's arterial, begin interval walks exactly to your almost signal and rest between bouts. If it's venous, add the daily leg up routine and short hourly movement breaks, and discuss compression with your clinician. If it's mechanics, do your two-way calf stretches daily, add gentle ankle mobility, and begin easy strength for the foot and calf. On days 5 and 6, layer in the next step. Nerve lane adds a second set of clamshells and bridges and practices posture tweaks during long sits and drives. Arterial lane adds 5 minutes to the walking session or 1 extra interval bout. Venous lane practices a full day in light compression if cleared, and doubles down on evening elevation. Mechanics lane introduces single-leg calf raises with support and a few seconds more of balance. On day 7, reevaluate. Did the distance to a cramp on your walk increase? Did night cramps decrease in frequency? Did your end-of-day heaviness ease with elevation? Did your ankle-to-wall distance improve? Write down what changed and keep what helped. Adjust what didn't. Then decide whether a professional visit is needed to check circulation, fit compression, screen the lower back, or assess gait and leg length. There are clear stop signs you must respect. If one leg suddenly swells, is tender to the touch, looks red or feels hot, and especially if walking makes the pain worse rather than easing it, seek urgent care to rule out a clot. If calf pain appears like clockwork when you walk and fades with rest, If your skin is cool and you have lingering sores or color changes, ask for a vascular evaluation. If one-sided leg pain and cramps are accompanied by severe back pain, progressive weakness, numbness in the groin, or loss of bladder or bowel control, that is an emergency. Do not wait. If new cramps began after you started a medication, call the prescriber promptly. An adjustment might solve the problem at the root. A few myths deserve to be retired. It's always low potassium? Not when it's one-sided. Minerals matter, but a unilateral pattern is much more likely to be nerve, flow, or load. Eat a banana and it'll stop? Bananas are fine in a balanced diet, but they won't unpinch a nerve, open an artery, drain a vein, or fix a stiff ankle. It's normal with age? Commonest. Inevitable? No. Muscles love rhythm and respect. When you give them the right input, they repay you quickly. Small, boring changes prevent repeat performances. Sip water through the day instead of gulping at night. Insert tiny movement breaks. Every hour, stand up and do 10 slow heel raises or a minute of hallway walking. Stretch for 30 seconds a few times a day instead of one heroic stretch at night. Muscles learn better with frequent, friendly reminders. Put a reminder in your calendar to replace shoes before they become lopsided saboteurs. Check the floors you walk on most. Pick up the runner rug that catches your toes. Tape down the mat that buckles and twists your foot. Keep a simple symptom diary. Which leg cramped, what you were doing, how the day felt, what shoes you wore, whether you sat more than usual. Patterns pop when you write. Imagine your next week with this map in hand. You notice that grocery carts make walking easier, nerve lane. You add the gentle decompressions, the glute support trio, and the sciatic sliders. 2 nights later, the midnight calf grab is weaker and fades faster. Or you walk 3 mailboxes, the right calf knots, you stop, it fades, and it repeats like a script, arterial lane. You start interval walks and book a vascular check. 4 weeks later, your mailbox count jumps. Or your right leg feels like a sandbag at 6 p.m., your ankle bones vanish, and elevating your feet lifts the weight. Venous lane. You add a daily legs up appointment and talk to your doctor about compression. The evening heaviness lightens and the cramps visit less often. Or you fail the ankle-to-wall test on one side and your shoe heel is worn to a wedge, mechanics lane. You change shoes, stretch the calf 2 ways, strengthen what holds you up, and your single leg calf rep count evens out over a month. Same symptom, different route, targeted fix. You don't have to be perfect to get better. You just have to match the fix to the cause most of the time and be honest with your body about what helps. If you spend this week applying the nerve versus circulation versus mechanics map, you'll return your leg to calmer nights and steadier days faster than any random stretch or supplement ever could. Cramps that always pick the same side are not curses, they're clues. When you read them well, the solution gets simpler, safer, and far more effective. If you're ready to calm those night cramps even faster, your next step is simple. Watch, tame night leg cramps faster than you think. 5 gentle stretches, 60+. In just a few minutes you'll learn a short, doctor-approved routine to do before bed that relaxes your calves, improves circulation, and helps you wake up easier. It pairs perfectly with everything you learned tonight. Use the cause map, then add the right stretches, and together they turn guesswork into steady, restful nights.